It's Friday, July 5th. Right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Gabriella Becerra in Flagstaff. A missing woman was found dead and her husband admitted to killing her. We have the details on this investigation.
The weather impact alert days continue into the long weekend. I'm also tracking records that could come down over the next several days, coming up in my full forecast.
Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It's a bad episode.
President Joe Biden says he plans to stay in the race despite numerous calls for him to step aside. What he's saying about his latest debate performance.
I'm Chase Golightly in Mesa, where police are stepping up teen violence enforcement. We'll tell you how coming up.
We were just doing fireworks last night and I found this one walking around.
The weekend after July 4th can be a nightmare for pet owners whose animals ran away after fireworks celebrations. Tips on how to find your fur baby or reunite with a lost pet for their owners.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Now at 10 o'clock, we start with a 12 News weather impact alert. Records shattering here in Phoenix outside. Hopefully you're staying cool as we saw our hottest day of the year at 118 degrees. The excessive and dangerous heat not letting up for the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the News at 10. I'm Jonathan McCall.
I'm Rachel Cole. Mark and Caribe have the night off. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley certainly does not. She's here right now as temperatures continue to spike into Saturday and Sunday.
And Lynn's, the big question, what do folks need to get ready for the weekend?
More excessive and dangerous heat. That's in the forecast. Today, 118 here in the valley. It was the hottest day of the year so far. Temperatures still in the triple digits, and we will stay in the triple digits for the next 2 hours. Finally falling down to 99 degrees at 1 a.m. We'll spend about 8 hours through 9 a.m. in the 90s before we're back into the triple digits. Here's when this excessive heat will continue. We're looking through next Thursday. So we have 6 more days to go. The impact being excessive heat, highs near 115 and overnight lows staying in the 90s. What you need to know is you need to limit outdoor activity, especially strenuous activity. Stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, even if you're not feeling thirsty. And just remember, we typically see our high temperature of the day between 3 and 5 p.m. Here's our exclusive 12 News monsoon meter, and it's just all about the heat. As we head into the weekend, we have zeros here in the valley indicating dry weather. Ones up in the high country and down near Tucson. There's just an isolated chance where you see a 1. Elsewhere, it is just going to be dry and extremely hot. Here's our 3-day forecast, all in red because these are weather impact alert days for the valley. Temperatures in 115 tomorrow, 115 again on Sunday, and up to 116, which will be a record-setting day on Monday. Jonathan?
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. Let's get to some breaking news happening right now on 12 News at 10 o'clock. We have learned that 6 people now in critical condition after a 2-car head-on crash in North Phoenix tonight. This is video of that scene just into the 12 newsroom from Sky 12 near Pinnacle and Scottsdale Roads. Phoenix Fire says the impact of that crash causing both cars to go up in flames. We saw several folks on the ground being treated by paramedics. Again, a total of 6 adults taken to the hospital in critical condition. Right now, there's no word on exactly how this scene unfolded. We'll continue to monitor this for you throughout the night at 12news.com and also on air on 12 News.
Tonight, the body of a missing Flagstaff woman is found after her husband admitted to killing her, but police still haven't said where Kelly Patakowski was found or how she died.
12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is in Flagstaff with new details on this horrific case. All right, we're having some issues with Gabby's story. We'll try to get back to her as soon as possible. Meanwhile, tonight, 12 News staying in contact with Phoenix police to learn more details about a woman shot and killed overnight at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Phoenix. Officers say they found that woman dead inside of a hotel room early this morning. Detectives piecing this together as a homicide. So far, investigators have not released any details on the woman, a possible suspect, or a motive in the case. Stay with 12 News for updates as we continue to learn more.
Tonight, Phoenix police continue to investigate a shooting that happened near a crowded 4th of July event. It happened at an apartment complex near Central and Indian School Road during a First Amendment demonstration. Police say officers arrived to find a man shot and another person stabbed. That 51-year-old man who was shot died there at the scene. The stabbing victim is said to be recovering at this time. Police say a woman taken into custody for questioning claimed she shot the man in self-defense. The woman was released from custody after detectives discussed the case with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. The investigation is ongoing. Tonight, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office investigating a deadly crash in Sun Lakes. This in the area of Dobson Road and Riggs Road. Officials say a car ran a red light and crashed into another one that was making a left turn. Investigators say the driver who ran the red light died at the scene and the other driver was injured but will be okay.
Now to ongoing coverage of teen violence across the valley. An East Valley Police Department says it is now stepping up enforcement to try to stop violent attacks involving teens.
And it could also land parents in trouble with the law if they know what their kids are up to but don't do anything to stop it. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly joins us from Mesa with the details.
We know kids are out enjoying their summer break, but if your teen is out past curfew, either hanging out with friends at the park or just walking down the street, there's a good chance they'll have a run-in with Mesa police. It's nothing new, but given recent violent assault cases brought to light across the East Valley, Mesa police is doing all they can to stop these attacks from happening in the first place.
We believe by enforcing these curfew laws that we will bring a reduction in violent crime towards teenagers.
It's called Operation Safe Summer. Detective Brandy Myers with the Mesa Police Department says kids 15 and younger can't be out past 10 p.m. and those who are 16 and 17 can't be out after midnight.
There's not generally one location where we're seeing a gathering of teenagers. We're finding them throughout the city.
Those getting caught are given a Class 1 misdemeanor. Last year, Mesa PD issued 38 citations to teens, but this year, they've surpassed it.
We're already at 39 citations, with 28 of them just being for summer break.
But Myers says it's not just kids who can get cited.
If parents know that their teenagers are out of the house violating a curfew law, they are responsible for that, and they ultimately can get charged with that city code violation as well.
Which community advocates support.
But it is also a parenting issue. We do need the accountability.
Bridget Vega has been following these teen violence cases and says she's seen these fights break out recently in Mesa. While she thinks more needs to be done on a larger scale, it's part of the solution.
It's a step in the right direction.
Mesa police did tell me at this time no parents have been cited for their kids being out past curfew. We're in Mesa. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks so much. We do want to get back to 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra's story in Flagstaff with the arrest of Daniel Patakowski, now charged with murder in the death of his wife, Kelly, whose body was found earlier today.
After nearly a week of searching for a missing Flagstaff woman, her husband told police where he hid her body. 58-year-old Daniel Patakowski will sit behind bars for 16 years after killing his wife, 45-year-old Kelly Patakowski.
Defendant must serve every day of this sentence and is not eligible for early release of any kind.
Patakowski agreed to a plea deal 6 days after he first reported his wife as missing. He pled guilty to second-degree murder, tampering of physical evidence, tampering with a dead body, and possession of dangerous drugs. Authorities say he also told police where he hid his wife's body and other evidence, including her cell phone, car keys, and the murder weapon.
This agreement is the culmination of many hours of work between Coconino County Search and Rescue, Flagstaff Police Department, and the Coconino County Attorney's Office.
On June 30th, Flagstaff police say Patakowski called 911 and reported that Kelly didn't return from a run and swim near Lake Mary.
The statement was later discovered to be an attempt to misdirect police resources.
Instead, Kelly's family found her car parked at a trail on the other side of town, and investigators say they found evidence that suggested Patakowski could have hurt or seriously injured his wife. The Coconino County Attorney's Office says Patakowski answered all of their questions about what happened on June 30th.
It's been on everybody's mind. And so when communities are not indifferent and they are engaged at this level, these are the outcomes that you have.
Search and rescue teams searched for Kelly by air and by ground these last few days, but police also wanted to thank the community. They say 60 people volunteered to help look for Kelly. Reporting in Flagstaff, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Now to Decision 2024 in his first sit-down interview since last week's presidential debate and calls for him to drop out of the race. President Joe Biden remaining defiant, telling ABC's George Stephanopoulos tonight in an exclusive interview that just aired hours ago that he's not dropping out.
NBC's Drew Wilder is in Washington with the pivotal moments.
Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It's a bad episode.
The president said his bad debate performance was due to exhaustion and a lingering cold, adding that he met with a doctor following the debate.
He just looked at me and said, "You're exhausted."
Still, Biden insists he is mentally fit and the only person who can defeat former President Donald Trump in November. Though doubt seems to be swirling throughout the party, multiple sources confirmed to NBC News that Virginia Senator Mark Warner is organizing a group of senators to discuss a path forward.
Mark Warner, Biden said, is the only one considering that.
Meanwhile, Democratic Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey says Biden should carefully evaluate whether to stay in the race.
What's your plan to turn the campaign around?
You saw it today. How many people can you draw crowds like I drew today?
The president pointing to his Madison, Wisconsin rally in which he read from a teleprompter and addressed calls for him to back out of the race.
There's been a lot of speculation. What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again.
In tonight's interview, the president refused to commit to a neurological test or some other cognitive test to assure the American public that he is fit enough for 4 more years in the White House. Lawmakers return to work here on Capitol Hill next week, where we'll be watching to see if his performance in tonight's interview is enough to silence some of the calls for him to step aside in his bid for re-election. Reporting in Washington, Drew Wilder, NBC News.
And along with that, the president's camp is hoping campaign events and tonight's interview will curb concerns about Biden's age. All this as many Democrats have called on the president to drop out of the race.
Animal shelters across the valley say that they are at full capacity. The Maricopa County Animal Care and Control says the day after the 4th of July is one of their busiest days as many folks try to find their lost pets.
Yeah, and if your pet has gone missing or if you found someone else's, the agency wants you to try and find the owner on your own before taking the animal to their shelters.
Chances are, again, they're not very far from home when you find them. So if you can post on social media, post on Nextdoor, post flyers up if you can, and file that found pet report on our website and get the dog back to its owner before ever bringing it here, we would greatly appreciate it.
We're told pets brought in with no identifier are held for a minimum of 72 hours before being put up for adoption. If they have a microchip or ID tag, they're kept a minimum of 5 days.
It's not